Hello and welcome to my new video. And today I'm gonna be making a 2020 election prediction: Donald Trump versus Heidi Heitcamp. And I'm gonna be using the independent colors as toss-up. So before I begin the prediction, I need to remind you guys that Heidi Heitcamp is a conservative Democrat. So she'll get a lot of conservative voters that are turned off by Trump. So these are the safe states: Idaho, Wyoming, so Montana. I think that Matt Rosendale would be Heidi Heitkamp's running mate. So Montana would go to the toss-up column. South Dakota would be a toss-up. So Nebraska's second congressional district would be a toss-up. So Kansas would go to Trump, Oklahoma would go to Trump, Texas would go to Trump, Utah would go to Trump. But the safe states for Heidi Heitcamp are pretty much every single state, all the states that Hillary Clinton carried. So I'm just gonna fill in the rest of the safe states, and I think these would be the safe states for Trump and Alaska. And now Heidi Heitcamp's safe states. So she would carry every single Clinton state without a doubt, because she could appeal to them and she could get out more voters that were turned off by Hillary Clinton. Like the Jill Stein voters would like her because she has a lot of a rural appeal and she could appeal to the white working class. So I'm going to leave one of Maine's congressional districts as a toss-up. So now I think Iowa and Missouri would be toss-ups because of Heidi Heitkamp's rural appeal. And Indiana and Ohio, West Virginia, all of these states that are really conservative, these traditional conservative states would be toss-up because Heidi Heitkamp could appeal to those old conservative voters. And I'm going to leave Arizona as a toss-up for now, just because the Latino population is growing and they might get excited because of Heidi Heitkamp. So now I'm going to give the Rust Belt to Heidi Heitkamp. Okay, before you get mad, let me explain. So Heidi Heitkamp is a conservative Democrat, and in all of the Rust Belt states, Trump won in less than a percentage point. So if Heidi Heitkamp could take even a percentage away from the turned off, from the Jill Stein voters, and she'll win. And there were a lot of conservative voters there that just voted for Trump because he was the Republican nominee. But if they see somebody that could appeal to them, like Heidi Heitkamp, a lot of the Trump base would turn over to Heidi Heitkamp. So I think that the Rust Belt would go to Heidi Heitkamp by around 3-4%. So now I think that North Dakota will go to Heidi Heitkamp because Trump isn't that liked in the Midwest. So the turned off conservative voters that don't vote for Heidi Heitkamp in the Senate would vote for her in the presidential election because they're turned off by Trump, and Heidi Heitkamp could appeal to them. So Montana would go to Heidi Heitkamp. I think Matt Rosendale could campaign there, and then the campaign could eventually win there. South Dakota, it's gonna be close because Heidi Heitkamp could appeal to South Dakota and vote voters, but I think that Donald Trump has that the red wall would stay here for South Dakota, so it would go to Trump, but narrowly. I think that Arizona would go to Heidi Heitcamp, but just because it would go to Trump, just because Heidi Heitcamp can't appeal to Latino voters, and she doesn't have an appeal like she has in the Midwest. She doesn't have a Sun Belt appeal, so I think that Donald Trump would be able to carry it. So Georgia, I think it would go to Trump because Heidi can't appeal to minorities in the South. So I think that North Carolina would actually go to Heidi Heitcamp. A lot of conservative voters were turned off by Trump in North Carolina, and they'd rather want somebody like Heidi Heitcamp. So I think that North Carolina would end up going to Heidi Heitcamp, but West Virginia narrowly would go to Trump, just because Trump won it by 30%. Heidi Heitcamp could take away a lot of that vote, but not enough to win the state. I think that Indiana would probably go to Donald Trump, but it would be more narrow than in 2016, because Heidi Heitcamp would take a lot of the white working class vote in the northern parts of Indiana, and a lot of the rural votes in the southern parts of Indiana. So I think that Trump would narrowly win. In Maine's 2nd congressional district, I think that Heidi Heitcamp would take it. I think just because she has such a big rural appeal, and there is so many turned off conservative voters in Maine that wouldn't vote for Trump, that it would be an overwhelming majority for Heidi Heitcamp in the state. I think that Iowa and Ohio would flip to Heidi Heitcamp. I think this would happen just because Heidi Heitcamp would take a lot of the base away from Iowa. She could take like over 10%, and a lot of third-party voters and independents would vote for Heidi Heitcamp over Donald Trump. And the same thing in Ohio. A lot of the white working class would vote for Heidi Heitcamp, and in the rural areas they would vote for her. And a lot of the independents would start voting for her, and she would be able to flip the state. Missouri, I think that's a little too much to flip. It went to Trump by 19%, but Heidi Heitcamp could really narrow it. It would be very close, because she could really appeal to the rural voters here. And so I think, Heidi Heitcamp would narrowly lose in Missouri. So in Florida, this one is a tough call. But since the Rust Belt went to Heidi Heitcamp, in so many other crucial states like Ohio, Iowa, Virginia, North Carolina, and Maine's the 2nd congressional district, and in Nevada, I think that Florida would go to Heidi Heitcamp narrowly. She would get she would get so many turned off conservative voters, and in Florida she got the independent voters. She'd be able to appeal to them in every way. And I think that in Nebraska's 2nd congressional district, it's gonna go to Heidi Heitcamp narrowly because of her big Midwestern appeal, and Heidi Heitcamp can get out the Obama base in the congressional district. So I think that Nebraska would go to Heidi Heitcamp, and this is the final result: 184 for Trump, to 354 to Heidi Heitcamp. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video. Bye!